Thank you. Good morning. Please stand if you are able. 1, 2, 3. We have come together as family. We have come here as we are. We have come with arms wide open. We have gathered here in love. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Raise the roof with shouts of praise. Spirit's in this place. We sing in celebration. We sing with words of prayer. We affirm our life as sacred. We declare that peace is here. Yes, Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Raise the roof with shouts of praise. Spirit's in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Raise the roof with shouts of praise. Spirit's in this place. Yeah.
Wow, good morning, everyone. I think it's safe to say that Spirit is in this
Yes,
place
yes,
today. It's going to be a glorious day, and I'm so glad that seeing some people I haven't seen in a while, and I'm so happy that you're here today.
Yes.
Let's begin with our affirmation for peace in the Middle East that we say each week in solidarity with our Muslim and Jewish brothers and sisters. What?
Yeah. You're not on.
I am on.
You're not
Put
hearing
it where? Am I coming through now?
You're gonna have to move
How do I
closer
get
to
it
you.
closer to my mouth? Hold it. That's cute, John. I don't know. I didn't have a problem before. Yeah, but I can't hold it. Let's try it like this.
Yeah, try that.
Am I coming through now? Okay, let me make sure I'm up all the way on here. Sorry, guys. We should have fixed this ahead of time, but... Oh. Okay, I'm up all the way. Am I coming through?
Just put it up higher now.
Closer
Now
to
put
you.
it closer where you had it.
Oh, now put it back how
Yeah.
I had it before. Let me put it like right here. I know. Why is it facing that way? It's the way they made this. It should be the clip. It should be anyway. Huh?
Put it on the other side.
Okay. Hi.
Put it on the other side.
But
That is facing
isn't
you.
my mouth symmetrical?
No, over your shirt.
It'll.
Try it.
All right. There you go.
It's the
there
same
you go.
thing. It's the same exact thing.
It faces the wrong way.
See, that's
Yep.
great.
it's the way they made it. Yeah, see? No, I can't put it on that side.
Sorry about that.
I'm loud, you guys. You really can't hear me? I'll just talk
into
loud.
it. Talk into it.
Okay. Yeah? All right. If you start not hearing me, somebody just wave me and I'll fix it. I'll clip it to my ear. No, I don't know. I'll do something. All right. So, as I was saying, I am so glad that you are all here today, and it is going to be a glorious day. So, let's begin with our affirmation for peace in the Middle East, which we say each week in solidarity with our Muslim and Jewish brothers and sisters, all of us people of the people of the book. And so we greet one another. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Peace be upon you.
And
And upon you, peace.
Shalom.
Alaikum shalom.
Well, I am Reverend Michelle Vargas, and it is truly my joy and honor to welcome you this morning to Unity of Monterey Bay, a beloved community co-created with love and intention that welcomes all people, all races, nationalities, cultures, and religions, whatever your immigration status, sexual orientation, gender identity, family configuration, and or ability. And whether you're here with us in person or you're joining us virtually, we know that love knows no bounds and that boundaries, and that we are one in spirit. As a purpose-driven church, Unity of Monterey Bay is an inclusive spiritual community committed to co-creating an environmentally sustainable, spiritually fulfilling, socially just, and compassionate human presence on this planet. We celebrate our oneness, and we honor the God of each of our understanding, affirming the innate good and divine essence that we know is within each and every person. So will you please join me now in our statement of faith? There is only one presence and one power in the universe, God the Good, expressing as infinite God beyond us, intimate God beside us, inner God being us, divine love in action. So let's begin now with prayer. And this is a poem called Do Not Let the Day Slip Away by Dana Falls. Do not let the day slip through your fingers, but live it fully now. This breath, this moment, catapulting you into full awareness. Time is precious, minutes disappearing like water into sand, unless you choose to pay attention. Since you do not know the number of your days, treat each as if it is your last. Be that compassionate with yourself, that open and loving to others, that determined to give what is yours to give and to let in the energy and wonder of this world. Experience everything, writing, relating, eating, doing all the necessary tasks of life as if for the first time. Pushing nothing aside as unimportant. You have received these same reminders many times before. This time, take them into your soul. For if you choose to live this way, you will be rich beyond measure, grateful beyond words, and the day of your death will arrive with no regrets. What a great way for us to begin this service. So let's just take those words into our heart, that we might have that kind of awareness, that kind of presence, finding joy in all the little things in life. And now as we allow this knowing to deepen within our souls and serve to awaken us into enlightenment for the benefit of all beings, we continue holding a high watch for peace in the Ukraine, in the Middle East, and for wherever there is turmoil in the world, and even within our own nation. So will you please join me in our prayer for peace with our hand motions? I offer you peace. I offer you love. I offer you friendship. I see your beauty. I hear your needs. I feel your feelings. My wisdom flows from the one source, and I bow to that source in you. Let us work together for unity and love. Wow. With that powerful affirmation, let's affirm again, thank you, God,
for this most amazing day. Miracle follows miracle,
and wonders never cease. It's birthday Sunday. Any November birthdays?
Yes,
Come on
Nancy.
up.
Yes.
Yay, Dishona
Come
and
on
Nancy and Colleen.
Wow. Yes.
All right.
Lovely ladies. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, you're wonderful. Happy birthday to you. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you, you're wonderful. God is blessing you now.
Wow.
Yay, happy birthday.
Happy birthday. And now it's the time in our service when we celebrate and bless our children. Those in our own spiritual community, in our families, our neighborhoods, and our larger community, all the children in the world, and our own inner child. Opening our hearts wide and seeing them protected and resilient, creative and evolving, joyous and loved, as we join in our heartfelt blessing. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you,
Just the way you are. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it
Taking a deep breath in and letting it out with an audible sigh, we center ourselves to embrace this blissful inner connection with Spirit and invite the chime to call us into this sacred space within. We ring the chime 4 times to call in the 4 directions and remind us of our inner connection with all of creation and the sacred circle of life. As we feel it resonate through our very beings, we follow its call into this now present moment within. Continuing to focus on our breath, with each inhale, we open our hearts and minds. We envision our breath reaching every cell of our being. And with each exhale, we see all barriers and obstacles dissolving into the divine flow. And again, as we inhale, we expand the spaciousness within us. We move beyond the limitations and boundaries of our bodies. And as we exhale, we ground ourselves deep within Mother Earth and into our oneness with the universe. Finally, we breathe our awareness into the highest expression of love, light, joy, and peace that we can imagine, as we experience a transforming wave of gratitude. And with a fullness of heart, we say yes to it all, embracing, claiming, and knowing the divine Christ Spirit expressing in, through, and as us. And with the final exhale, we say, thank you, God. Now, fully centered and transformed by the power of Spirit, we enter into our lesson and meditation time with today's daily word. We read from Daily Word for November 2nd, shared with permission of Unity, publisher of Daily Word, that can also be found at dailyword.com. And the word is remembrance. I invite you to allow my words to be your words. I cherish the memories of my loved ones. Today, I remember life is eternal as I honor my dear ones who have passed. I send love and light to those who have enriched my life. My heart beams with love and gratitude as I cherish the memories I hold so dear. I honor and reflect on the relationships that have meant so much to me. I open my heart, allowing myself to feel the tenderness of my emotions. I sense my relatives' love, a reminder their presence is alive in my heart. I visit my memories in the stillness, grateful for the time we spent together. My beloved's love, wisdom, and strength are in me. As I remember these special ones, their memory will be a blessing that transcends time and space. And from the scriptures, then he took a loaf of bread, and when he had given thanks, he broke it and gave it to them, saying, "This is my body, which is given for you. Do this in remembrance of me." Luke chapter 22, verse 19.
Touching you, touching loved one, never part, not by distance, touching you, touching you, touching loved one, never part, not by distance, touching you on the other side.
In witness to the wisdom of the many paths to the sacred, we read from 3 sacred traditions on this morning's topic, remembering and honoring our loved ones. From Native American religions, someday the great chief above will overturn the mountains and the rocks. Then the spirits that once lived in the bones buried there will go back into them. At present, those spirits live in the tops of the mountains, watching their children on earth and waiting for the great change which is to come. The voices of these spirits can be heard in the mountains at all times. Mourners who wail for the dead hear spirit voices reply, and thus they know that their lost ones are always near. From African traditional religions, those who are dead are never gone. They are in the breast of the woman. They are in the child who is wailing, and in the firebrand that flames. The dead are not under the earth. They are in the fire that is dying. They are in the grasses that weep. They are in the whimpering rocks. They are in the forest. They are in the house. The dead are not dead. And from Christianity, for we know that if the earthly tent we live in is destroyed, we have a building from God, an eternal house in heaven, not built by human hands. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 1.
Though I have to say goodbye, remember me. Don't let it make you cry, for even if I'm far away, I hold you in my heart. I sing a secret song to you each night we are apart. Remember me. Though I have to travel far, remember me. Each time you hear a sad guitar, and know that I'm with you the only way that I can be, until you're in my arms again. Remember me. Recuérdame, si en tu mente vivo estoy. Recuérdame, mis sueños yo te doy, te llevo en mi corazón y te acompañaré, unidos en nuestra canción, contigo ahí estaré. Recuérdame, si solo crees estar, recuérdame, y mi cantar te irá a abrazar, aún en la distancia, nunca vayas a olvidar que yo contigo siempre voy. Recuérdame. Remember me. Though I have to travel far, remember me. Each time you hear a sad guitar, and know that I'm with you, the only way that I can be, until you're in my arms again. Remember me.
That song touches us, right? There's something about it, and I think that it's that universal human desire, that common human need that we have to believe that we're going to be remembered by someone, right? How many people have seen the movie Coco? Yeah, it's such a beautiful movie. And the gist of that movie is that as long as someone remembers you, you're still alive. You haven't had the second death. The second death is when no one left on earth remembers you. We don't entirely understand, or really even understand, frankly, at all, the mystery of death. But we seem to have this need to believe that we go on in some way after death, and that our loved ones go on in some way, even though we don't know what that looks like. And that when we're gone, our loved ones are going to remember us when they hear that song, that sad guitar, or your favorite flower, or a bird that you liked. And I feel like these yearnings and beliefs are all part of our human need to try to come to terms with our own mortality, with the fleeting nature of life. with the impermanence of it all. The fact that everyone and everything we love will eventually come to pass. This is what the celebration of Day of the Dead is all about. I first learned about Day of the Dead over 30 years ago when I was living and studying in Mexico as a young adult, and I had the chance to travel to a part of a state in Mexico called Michoacan, where the Day of the Dead celebrations back then, they are still, but they were very, very strong traditions there. And I got to go and see how that was practiced, and I don't know, I was just fascinated and obsessed with it from the beginning. It seemed so foreign to me, like so bizarre, that what I think the American sensibilities can sometimes think is morbid or too much focus on death, but I knew that there was something special about it. And so I wanted to learn as much as I could, and I became very intrigued by the Mexican perspective on death and how different it is from our American perspective. And then, of course, I was attracted to the color and the vibrancy and the beauty of it all. And so it's my hope, and the reason I do this every year, is that by looking into, if it's not our own culture, another culture, and seeing how Mexicans celebrate Day of the Dead and how they have that different perspective, that it might help us begin to see death as something just a little less scary, right? A little less anxiety producing, and begin to see death as more of the cycle of life, a normal and natural part of the human experience. And as we go through this ceremony today and we engage in our annual tradition of lighting a candle to honor our loved ones, my vision is that we as a community are learning to grieve together. There are other cultures that have regular practices of grieving together, and it's something that we lack. And loss is that common thing that we all share. We have all experienced loss, and it's part of what makes us human. But whenever we borrow traditions or rituals from other cultures, it's really important that we take some time to give them the proper respect and reverence that they deserve. And we can do this, if it's not our own tradition, by first acknowledging, this is not my tradition, I'm borrowing this from another culture. And then by taking time to learn about it and understand it instead of just sort of, going on the superficial level of it. Now, you've probably noticed in recent years that Americans of all types, seem to have become really enamored with Day of the Dead. Like, it just exploded. It's everywhere, right? And you now see in stores, Target has a whole, well, I don't know if they do anymore, but they had a whole section on Day of the Dead, and there's all kinds of Day of the Dead events and parades and parties and altar viewings happening all over the place. It's interesting, and my husband, who is Mexican, and I were talking about this, that it wasn't that long ago, 10 years ago maybe, that Day of the Dead was really only celebrated in the more indigenous parts of Mexico that still retain those cultural traditions, and for the most part was not practiced by modern Mexican city dwellers. I lived in Guadalajara for 2 years. I never saw anything about Day of the Dead. Back then there were no Day of the Dead parades, no giant elaborately dressed skeletons in the town squares, and no altars in public places. But then the movie Coco came out. Why didn't I put down? I think it was 2017. Coco had a profound effect. And it made this once sort of obscure holiday like mainstream, right? It also made people realize that there was a lot of money to be made from Day of the Dead. This year in Mexico, experts are predicting that Day of the Dead, now this is from all the tourism, all the purchasing of Day of the Dead items. A lot of Americans go down there and people from other countries to experience Day of the Dead. They're predicting this year it will bring in some 49.5 billion pesos, which is 2.7 billion American dollars. Now, I tweak this a little bit each year, and every year it goes up and up and up end up. So that's all the tourist revenue of the folks that go there to celebrate it. This year, they're expecting some it happened yesterday? I think it happened yesterday. Expecting some 7 million people to attend the Day of the Dead parade in Mexico City. Can you imagine? 7 million people? Good thing it's a big city. And it appears that they have now, okay, so I was telling my husband about this. It used to be just one day. I think it got so big they had to divide it up. So now they have the Day of the Alebrijes. If you saw Coco, those are the intricately painted animals. They have one day just for them. Then they have the Day of the Catrinas, which is the skeleton lady with the big fancy hat. And then they have one day just dedicated to pets dressed up for Day of the Dead, which I just think is awesome. Now, it seems that this sudden popularity of Day of the Dead on both sides of the border has both positive and negative results. On the one hand, Coco showcased this Mexican tradition on a world stage for the first time, right? And introduced so many people to it. And generations of even Mexicans that didn't even know that much about that tradition in their own culture are now know about it and are now practicing it. On the other hand, it's become super commercialized, like everything else, right? And I think that Coco did for a Hollywood movie, did a pretty good job of representing Day of the Dead. But a lot of folks still may not understand the traditions that are behind it. And so my fear is that, the commercialization that people, the cute little skulls and the cute little skeletons and stuff, but without really understanding what's behind that holiday. That's why I do this every year, and it's one of my personal missions to help educate people about the history of this beautiful holiday. So the first thing to know about Day of the Dead, I've seen all these videos going around on social media. It's not Mexican Halloween. I think we all know that by now, but they're still saying that. And it's nothing new. This tradition goes back at least 3,000 years to the rituals honoring the dead that the pre-Columbian cultures of Mesoamerica had. The Aztecs, which is a colonizer name, so the Aztecs call themselves Mexicas, so that's what I'm going to try to remember to say now. The Mexicas are the culture that we're probably most familiar with, but these traditions even predate the Mexican culture, which is actually in Mexican Mesoamerican history a little bit more of a recent civilization, because there are others that go back thousands of years. And so, the Mexicas apparently, no, I don't know if that's right. I'm not going to say that in case it's wrong. But anyway, these cultures that existed and had these vibrant traditions until the arrival of Cortez, who conquered the empire in 1521. The ancient Mexicas had, like so many cultures around the world, had festivals and rituals to honor death and to honor the dead during the harvest seasons. This is common in cultures all around the world. So after the harvest is in, it's the time to celebrate and honor the dead. When Cortez and the conquistadores arrived, they brought with them the Catholic traditions. And the Catholics already had the holidays of All Saints' Day on November 1st and All Souls' Day on November 2nd. So this is what I find so intriguing about this holiday and lots of other things in Mexico. So you have these vibrant traditions for thousands of years. Then you have the Spaniards come with Catholicism, layer that over it, and what you get is this incredible mix of the two traditions. So during this time, which is actually Days of the Dead, because it goes on for more than one day, the traditional belief is that the veil is very thin during this time, and that the spirits or the souls of the dead are given special license during this time to be able to come back to visit the living. That's the gist of the holiday. Many Mexicans who celebrate this tradition, they make special trips to the graveyard. They spend lots of time cleaning and decorating the graves. And they even bring food, music, mariachis, the whole thing, and they picnic right there in the graveyard. Of course, there is music and dancing and food. Some families construct altars or ofrendas, which literally means offerings, in their homes. And of course, we have our ofrenda or altar at the church. And these altars, they're so complicated. There's so many elements to them, but I'll tell you about a few of them. And these things go way back. So the first is the flowers. Are you seeing these everywhere? So beautiful. It's called cempasúchil, which is just the Mexica word for marigold. And it reminded the Mexicas of the sun. It also has a strong, very earthy scent. And they believed that that scent would help their loved ones' souls find their way back to visit. Many place an incense called copal that was used by the Mexicas on the altars. And again, the scent of the copal burning is to help attract the dead so that they might come back to visit us. And then the skulls, the sugar skulls that are on everything, leggings, shirts, my purse, earrings, everything. Where does that come from? This is where it gets fun. The Mexicas were a fierce and ambitious culture of warriors. But at the time that Cortez arrived in Mexico, they had pretty much conquered all of the other civilizations around them. When they conquered another tribe, they would clean and dry the skulls of their victims and display them on racks. And if you ever go and see the ruins in Mexico, you'll see some of these things. That carried forward, that idea of the skull as the symbol of death, and it still represents death for Mexicans. And they display skulls of every size and shape and color and material. You can get sugar skulls with your name on it. If you have a common name like Jose or Maria, you'll find it at the bakery. If not, they give you a little place where you can write your own name on it. Cookies, clothing, everything with the skulls on it. The most important part of the altar, though, is placing things that belonged to the loved one who has died. So their favorite drink, their favorite meal, you might put a plate, maybe a necklace that they wore or a piece of their clothing. Things that both belonged to them and are believed to sort of still have some of the essence of them, and also things that they liked, which again are to lure the souls to come back. Oh, my favorite tequila. I'm going to go. Then there's other things like a glass of water, because we all know the dead get thirsty. Some salt for purification, and of course, pan de muerto. And we have some of that right here. It's a special bread that is made in Mexican bakeries all over at this time. And how do I explain it? The way they make the thing on the top is supposed to look like bones. And some of them make them in the shape of skeletons as well. And the bread can be flavored either with orange or anise. So there is some back there, and you are all invited to try it after the service. So again, all of these items are to honor the loved one, to remember them, and to entice their souls to come back. Now you might ask, they also put lots of food, fruits and vegetables, rice, tortillas, beans. I stopped doing that because the mice were having their own little Day of the Dead and coming and eating it. So I can't put food on there anymore. But it should be covered with food. Now what happens to the food? They eat it. They eat it. And there may be a belief that the dead come and partake of it, but it doesn't go to waste. They eat it. As I said, the Mexican perspective on death is so fascinating to me because it seems so different from our own Western, let's say North American. And this understanding of death, of course, like all things Mexican, comes from the ancient indigenous roots. Again, the Mexicas They viewed life as cyclical, like many Native American, because the Aztecs and Mexican natives are also Native Americans. A lot of them had this view. They lived very close to nature, and because they lived so close to nature, they saw life and death playing out over and over, like I've been talking about over the past few weeks. And so we're a little bit removed from it, right? A little bit protected from some of that. So they saw life and they saw death as part of the cycle of life. It's just part of the cycle. In fact, it's said that for the Mexicas, life was the dream state and death was the true life. So an Aztec king once made this statement: "We come only to sleep, only to dream. It is not true that we come to live on this earth. We become as spring weeds. We grow green and open the petals of our hearts. Our body is a plant in flower. It gives flowers and it dies away." So you see that cycle in nature. And so death is seen as more of a continuation of life rather than a new beginning of some sort, rather than an ending. So again, our American sensibilities can get a little jarred by all of the images of death, right? We think it's morbid. But Mexicans don't avoid death. They look at it. They face it head on. That's why you see the skulls everywhere and the skeletons and all the things. It's a way of sort of it's a playfulness that is very cultural, of sort of mocking death, like "neener, neener, I'm not afraid of you." There's a bit of that. And then I could probably give a 3-hour lecture on this, but the teacher in me comes back out. The lady with the hat, that has political roots. It was a Mexican engraver. How do you say an engraver? Named Jose Guadalupe Posada that started these engravings of skeletons riding bicycles and dancing, and the big hat with the feathers on it is supposed to be a mocking of the rich. So this was political commentary. Okay? What do you think that means? It's similar to what our own way-shower Jesus said. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, we are all going to die. And so that was sort of the mocking of these people that were so rich, they thought, that the normal things of life weren't going to happen to them, but we all die. And so death is the great equalizer. Now, does this mean that Mexicans don't fear death or that they don't mourn their loved ones? Of course, they fear death like anyone else. But listen to this passage from the great celebrated Mexican poet Octavio Paz. "The word death is not pronounced in New York, in Paris, in London, because it burns the lips. The Mexican, in contrast, is familiar with death, jokes about it, caresses it, sleeps with it, celebrates it. It is one of his toys and his most steadfast love. True, there is perhaps as much fear in his attitude as in that of others, but at least death is not hidden away. He looks at its face." So maybe Mexicans fear death as much as everyone, but they don't hide from it. They don't pretend it's not there or it's not going to happen. And every year, as we practice Day of the Dead as a community, we're all getting a little more comfortable with these images of death and this looking at death and not pretending that it's not there. I'm not sure we're ready to picnic in the graveyards yet. You ready to do that? I first introduced this tradition, I can't remember now, maybe 15 years ago, because I believed there was something profound that we could learn from these traditions about death and about grieving. And as I talked about last week, our North American culture is not terribly great at grieving, right? It's not real skilled at it. And death is sort of a taboo subject, and grieving is largely seen as a very private thing, right? It's not something you do around in public, right? You do it privately at home. And of course, private grieving is important, but there can be great value in communal ritual and grieving together. We may find that when we share our grief with one another and make ourselves vulnerable, that what is revealed to us is our common humanity. Wow. It's this human condition that we always think we're the only ones that feel something. But that's why those, support groups work, because it's like, wow, everyone has that feeling. Everyone is grieving someone. And so that's what I'm hoping, is that we learn from this and we all learn to grieve with one another in ways that connect us and make us feel less alone. And of course, by talking each year, spending some time to talk about our loved ones each year, we do just what the movie Coco talks about, which is to keep their memories alive. Well, not literally, that word gets highly overused today. What is the word for literally that doesn't really mean literally? Literally keep them alive, right, by remembering them. And that their spirits are always with us, and that the love we share is eternal. It doesn't go away. It is not conquered. Love is not conquered by death. Virtual. Okay. It's a good one. And this hopefully gives us comfort and begins a little bit to satisfy that human need I talked about at the beginning, to believe that we are remembering our loved ones and that we too will be remembered. So we begin this time by sharing, and I think we just have a couple of folks that are going to share today. I'm not sure who wants to go first, Nancy or Kay, and is there anyone else that was going to share today? Linda, you want to? Okay, who's ready? You want to go, Kay? So some of the folks we have lost in the past few years in our own community.
We need this, don't we? Okay, can everybody hear me?
Yep.
Okay, Michelle's talks about grief really hit home for me, especially this year. We've grieved the loss of a dear friend's husband, then one of my brothers passed, then the loss of a favorite physician, as well as, in my opinion, the lost government we are living with. We also lost a very dear friend this year, Barbara Barnes. Barbara is the kind of person people naturally gravitate to. She had so many good friends, and yet when you were with her, she made you feel like you were the most important person to her. Her mission in life was to make the world a better place, and she did that exceptionally well. How many personal friends have you lost that had over 600 people show up to your funeral in Africa?
Wow.
Having first visited the village of Songwe, Zambia in 1998, Barbara became compelled to make a difference in this small and poor part of the world. She visited the village almost yearly, and since then has enlisted contributions from family, friends, interested individuals, and organizations, which have been applied to the village's needs, but specifically for the school. When she first became aware, the Songwe School was last scholastically in the district. Today, there are over 50 families giving, and organizations, including some of you here at UMB, and it is now first in the district.
Wow.
Building teacher housing has attracted better teachers. I've been on several trips with her, but I was very blessed that Barbara invited me to accompany her to Zambia in 2014 for her yearly check-in with the village. We spent an exhausting week procuring supplies for the Songwe School and clinic, which wasn't like any shopping experience I had ever encountered. At the end of the week, the school had a celebration to open the new administration building and a new classroom for the 9th grade. Even the chief of the district attended, which was a very big deal. Barbara has a sponsor who pays for a teacher since the government only pays up to the 8th grade. Our own Marianne Boylan and Sue Russowitz pays the salary for this preschool teacher. Countless students have gone on to high school and college because of her foundation. Our adopted daughter, Lucy, just graduated college Friday and has been hired by a mining company starting work in human resources tomorrow. And we're so proud of her. It's hard to put into words the eye and heart-opening experience visiting that part of the world did for me. To see the school provide a hearty meal each day to its students, to be surrounded by scores of small children begging and giggling for me to put a sticker on their forehead, and how excited ninth graders were to get a pair of used sneakers. The grandparents were so appreciative to get their bags of necessities, as well as teachers receiving school supplies. Barbara made sure everyone who traveled to Africa with her had to visit the Apartheid Museum in Johannesburg, South Africa. So whether on safari or visiting villages, I can see why she loved Africa so much. Just witnessing how difficult life is in Zambia and yet doing it with grace and faith was a beautiful experience. I will never be able to thank Barbie enough for sharing her life and passion with me. I miss being able to pick up the phone and hear her voice, but she is a true friend and will forever live in my heart.
Thank you so much, Faye. I'm so glad you shared that, Kay, because her funeral was far away and a lot of us were not able to attend, and so I'm really glad that we've been able to honor her and the difference that she made. Thanks for doing that.
An amazing woman. I'm grateful I got to know her. So this is the only thing that I took from my grandmother's house when she passed. I was 15 years old, and this always sat on her windowsill above her kitchen sink. And I'd read it all my life. Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. Matthew 7:7. And I can remember reading it as a really tiny kid and wondering, what does that mean? So this was my mother's mother. She lived with us off and on between husbands. There were 6 of them. She outlived 5. If you're getting the picture, you're right. She was a piece of work. And she would always had at hand, when she lived with us, a twig, long, slender branch thing from a tree, in case I should misbehave. Oh. And then she would switch my legs, chase me and switch my legs. When my parents' mental illness and alcoholism became very apparent to her, she took me aside, and instead of saying, honey, I'm so sorry, and I'm always here for you, she said, God will never give you more than you can handle. So I don't want to hear any more about it. Well, it wasn't exactly warm and loving, but I can tell you that when life delivered hard blows to me, there were 2 things I often thought about. One was Matthew 7:7, and the other one was that God would never give me more than I could handle.
Thanks, Linda.
Hi. I'd like to talk a little bit about my Uncle Ted. My mother came from a family of 4 children, and Ted, Edgar Allen Rogers Jr., was her older brother. He was a charming, good-looking man, and he was an excellent storyteller. Had a great sense of humor and wit. Because of those skills, one of his first jobs he ever got was a radio disc jockey, and he worked in radio and sales during his life. An interesting but sad part of Uncle Ted's life was that he married the same woman and divorced her 3 times. And she really loved him, and when they were divorced, her father would come to him and say, Ted, you know, Jeanette really, really loves you. Try it again. But Jeanette was wealthy. Her parents were millionaires. So Ted gave it a try 3 times. But by the time they had divorced for the last time, I was born. But Uncle Ted also was during World War II. He was in the Army Air Corps and served in North Africa, Italy, and France. So by the time I was born, my mother got pregnant again right away and was sick. And so Uncle Ted was able to come out from Utah and stay with our family to take care of me and my older sister and help my mom. And at one point, while he was there, my mom was very down, and she said, I just don't know what I'm going to do when I have another baby to care for, to take care of the 2 girls and the baby. And so Ted said, well, when the baby's born, I'll take Nancy and raise her for you. Unfortunately, my baby brother died shortly after he was born, so I remained with my parents. But Uncle Ted and the rest of my mom's family came down from Utah and moved to Southern California to be very close to our family. So for all my life, he was a very loving, caring, supportive part of my life. And my best memories are of him telling stories, because the least important incident would turn into a humorous tale. You know, he was just wonderful to listen to. But because he had offered to take me, we had a special bond. And Uncle Ted always called me his kid.
Thank you, Nancy.
It was a year ago in December that I lost my aunt. She loved Mexico. She loved the Mexicans also. When Reverend Michelle asked me if I would like to speak about my late aunt, I did not want to do it. Then I thought about the song we sing, Yes, Lord, yes, to your will and to your way. And I remember, and I'm hesitant to try and quote Michelle because, you know, we hear things differently. But I remember she said that yes was better than no. And so I think that's...
I did say that.
You said that?
I think I did.
Okay, I was going to say that's a little debatable, but anyway, I met my aunt in 1960. I thought I was about 8 or 9. I still remember running and hiding from her. I think one of the reasons she was attracted to me was because I was shy. She was fresh from France with my military uncle and their son, same age as myself. My aunt didn't let many people in her home. She was a saver. She still owned the kitchen table and chairs from 1960 when she passed. I remember eating breakfast with her. I had to sit a certain way. The chairs were delicate. My uncle and her tried to teach me etiquette. We went out to dinner often. I had to be sure to wear a clean shirt that was tucked in neatly in my pants. I really didn't see the reason for this. We had an appetizer drink before we had the glass of wine with our food. My aunt to me is a complicated, no-nonsense type of person. I miss her. I don't think she had time to care about that. I helped her put her husband and her long-time dog away. I wasn't here to help her with her son to put him away. She had a lot to endure. I also wanted to say that she was a product of World War II. You know, and I think that those people born around that time are a different kind of breed. So, you know, so anybody that I don't know history, but I think that was part of the reason she was such a saver and such a no-nonsense type of person.
Thanks, Larry. So thank you all for sharing. I appreciate your willingness to make yourself vulnerable. It's uncomfortable sometimes to talk about our grief, but I think that we all benefit from it, so I appreciate that. All right, so now we are going to begin the candle lighting portion of our ceremony. So I invite you to just relax and get comfortable, settle in for a little bit, and begin to open your heart to the memory of the loved ones you've lost. Now, I didn't say this before, but I want to say it now. Crying is okay here. Okay? Don't anyone apologize for crying. It's a safe and a totally acceptable place for you to shed a tear if that's what happens. So just know that as we do this ceremony, that sadness might come up and that it's a healthy part of the process. If you're remembering someone special today and you would like them to receive a special blessing, you can write their name or names on the... Did everybody get a blessing slip when you came in? Does anybody not have one? Okay, everyone's got them. Okay. And so in a little bit, when you come up to light the candle, you can place the blessing in the little basket, and those will be prayed over, and then they will go on to silent unity. So the ceremony involves honoring the past, the present, and the future. So we begin by lighting the candle for the past. In honoring the past, we call forth the powers of strength, wisdom, and love. We remember those we've loved and those we have lost. The loss of these loved ones may be fresh, or it may have been some time since they passed. But either way, we know that their absence is something that we will carry with us forever. We may be experiencing intense grief, or our sadness may have mellowed into a dull ache. Whatever we are feeling, we hold our own tender hearts lovingly, and we make room for all of it. We take time to remember our dear ones, and we honor them in the lives that they lived upon this earth, recalling the special contributions that they made, and feeling gratitude for all that they gave us and how they blessed our lives. And in turn, we bless them. We hold our memories of them dear, and we remember them often. And in the words of Unity's poet laureate, James Dillett Freeman, if I had never loved you, if I had never lain heart hearing heart beside you, I would not have this pain. I would not have this sorrow. I would not have this pain. But if I had not loved you, I would have lived in vain. Now we light the candle for the present. Oh, come on now. And in honoring the present, we call forth powers of understanding, will, and order. Though our dear ones have moved on to the next adventure, we must learn how to live in the present without them. We walk the delicate balance between remembering and letting go. We allow ourselves all the time we need to find our way through our grief. As time goes by, we continue to think of our dear ones. We may light a candle, set an extra place at the table, tell stories, or take time to look at old photographs. In this way, we keep their memory alive, and we learn to live the new shape that our life has taken. We learn to live ever more present in this now moment. As we learn to accept life on life's terms, and we lean into that mystery, we find freedom. And we begin to feel that joy is bubbling up in our lives once again. From Native American tradition, I give you this one thought to keep. I am with you still. I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glints on snow. I am the sunlight on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awaken in the morning's hush, I am the sweet uplifting rush of quiet birds in circled flight. I am the soft stars that shine at night. Do not think of me as gone. I am with you still in each new dawn. And now we light the candle for the future. And in honoring the future, we call forth powers of imagination, faith, and zeal. We allow hope to spring forth again and again, guiding our way forward. We trust in the universe's perfect plan for our lives. We hold fast to the truth that love never dies. It merely changes shape. We allow Spirit to guide us, and the love we feel for our dear ones keeps us ever moving forward. We let go of worry and concern, and we trust in what will be. I'm going to share an excerpt from the poem The Summer Day by Mary Oliver. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I have been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? So now's the time when you are invited, if you so wish, to come up and light a candle to honor your loved one. You can put the blessing slip in the basket and put the candle in the sand. So we begin by saying the blessing together. Will you join me? I honor, remember, and bless my dear loved ones. So now you may begin to come up. Qué bueno que vinieron. Push it hard. So let us pray. Holy light, holy presence, holy love, we honor all of the souls whose light is represented by these candles. May this light be a blessing to those who miss them and a symbol of the love that remains ever present between them. We witness the pain and the grief that is present today in this space. May this light assure us that we are seen, that we are held, and that we are not alone. May we all feel the presence of the ancestors, saints, and loved ones that journey with us today and every day. We raise up all of the tender hearts present in this space, for the weariness, for the anxiety, for the overwhelm. May this light be a symbol of peace. You are not forsaken. We all struggle together and we all pray together. that we may receive the blessings of nourishment, rest, and well-being. We turn our faces to the light, to witness the holy presence in our lives, the holy love in the world that surrounds us, and to lift up our gratitude for the many blessings of this world. Amidst our daily strife, may we remember that we are enough, we are worthy, and we are loved. So as we bring this ceremony now to a close, we take a moment to feel gratitude for the wisdom in these ancient rituals. Gratitude for the Mexican perspective on death that is helping us to broaden our own understanding. And for this spiritual community, which provides a safe, loving, and supportive space in which to grieve together. And for this sacred time spent in communion with our loved ones. For this and for so much more, we say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
And so it is. Amen.
Unity of Monterey Bay is the collective consciousness and commitment of all of us who give of our time, treasure, and talent in order to sustain this spiritual community that is dedicated to transforming lives. We know that prosperity is a state of mind that finds blessings in every situation and abundance in joyous generosity. We transform all appearances of fear or lack into a faith-filled peace of mind by shifting our attention to thoughts of gratitude for the abundance of God's good in our lives. As the ushers please come forward, I invite you to think of something specific that you're grateful for in this moment. Michelle, I want to say thank you. This is the first service since I lost my mom. And it's been a tough day, but thank you for doing this with us every year. And now, with our hearts and minds overflowing with gratitude, we breathe into the divine flow of God's good, trusting that we are enough, and that we have enough, and that there always is enough to both have and to share. For those of you who give online through our website, have set up monthly auto payments from your bank, or give by credit card, we are so truly grateful. We ask that you join in faith and gratitude as we pass the baskets this morning by holding and blessing the basket as it passes to you. And now, please join me in our offertory blessing. I am an open channel for God's infinite good. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies everything I give and everything I receive. I am both blessed and a blessing. Thank you, God.
God of the mystical game.
it is with great joy that we bless and give thanks for these gifts and offerings that demonstrate our collective commitment to the spiritual work of love and transformation in our lives and in our world. We dedicate this offering and our lives and this ministry to more fully expressing the Christ light that is the truth of our being and inviting all people to know God's love. Finally, knowing that when with God all things are possible, we affirm together that the good is now, the rest is blessed, and the best is yet to be in our lifetime, gently. For our music today, we want to thank Kristen Anderson Lopez and Robert Lopez, Denise Rosier, and Daniel Namod. And of course, our awesome Unity combo, Devin and David and John and Sue and Denise. Yay! Some quick announcements. I don't know, can you smell them? The enchiladas are baking downstairs. There are also tamales. There is beans and rice. There is Mexican pan de muerto. It is going to be a feast, so you are all invited to come down afterwards and join in our feast, which let it be a celebration of the lives that we have honored today. The movie American Agitators is being shown at Cabrillo College. Is it this? Wow, this
Wednesday.
This Wednesday, 4:30 to 7. If you are interested in joining a group that are going to be going up there together, there's a sign up for carpooling in the sacred grounds. Sign up, and I think Sue will put it together and figure out who's gonna. You'll call people or whatever.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Because of the SNAP crisis, which I think now has maybe been averted, but there is no doubt still a crisis for so many people in our country. We're going to be taking donations to purchase grocery gift cards, which we will give to Community Partnership for Youth. It's the same organization that we give to at Christmas time. So you can make a donation in any amount, and we will put it all together and buy as many grocery gift cards as we can and give to those families just to ease their ease this crisis for those folks in our community. Yeah.
I'm also going to try to have the barrel for the food bank
Oh, good.
coming in this week.
Coming in sooner.
Yes,
Okay, awesome.
get it moving.
Great, so we can start bringing in our non-perishable food items, and you can also donate cash directly to the Monterey Food Bank. Can you believe it's the time to begin to think about purchasing a poinsettia to honor your loved one? We just go right from Halloween straight into Christmas. Poinsettias are going to be $20. There is a sign up in the sacred grounds, and the poinsettias that you purchase will adorn our sanctuary, make it look beautiful for Christmas, and then you can take it home with you at the end, and it can be dedicated to a loved one as well. And finally, this is just a reminder, save the dates. There are still handouts in the back if you haven't gotten one, that there are all kinds of good things coming up and activities to join in for the coming holidays in our community. So as we bring our service to a close this morning, I am so grateful. I know we are all grateful that each and every one of you decided to join us today, whether you're here in person or you're joining us virtually. And if it's your first time with us, welcome. I hope we made you feel at home and you can feel that love of our community. And the most important thing is that we want you to know that wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. Our chaplain on duty today is Robin. She is available to pray with you after the service. So we give thanks for the service of all of our chaplains holding the high watch for our community. Let's conclude with our responsive reading for peace in our nation. We believe in the sacred potential of our country and the divine intelligence guiding its path.
We affirm that wisdom, compassion, and justice are rising in the hearts of all
people.
In a world that cries out for healing, we listen deeply for spiritual truth.
We
open to the wisdom that leads to wholeness for all.
We do not surrender to fear, division, or despair.
We anchor ourselves in faith, courage, and shared humanity.
We call forth leaders who are guided by integrity and vision.
We affirm solutions that uplift both personal freedom and collective care.
May this nation grow in love, unity, and awakening.
And may we each be instruments of peace, justice, and joy.
And all the people said,
Amen.
I think I forgot to mention that there is pan de muerto on the altar, so everyone is invited to try a piece of that after the service concludes. So let's make our closing circle for our prayer for protection and our peace song. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. So as we form this wonderfully large circle today, I'm so grateful. Let's just hold in our hearts all of the loved ones that we have honored and blessed today, and hold one another in our tender hearts and the grief and loss that we all share. Just holding our tender hearts in this circle of love, knowing that we can do in community together what we cannot do alone. Please join me now in our prayer for protection. The light
Light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love.
The
Power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
She's so cute. I can't stand it. Look at her.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. God.
Yay, God.
John keeps going. John's in his own world back there.